I'm Ed Kelley, editor of the Oklahoman. With me is Chris Casteel, chief of the Oklahoman's bureau in Washington. Chris, let's talk about Mary Fallin, the representative from Oklahoma City. She's a freshman in Congress, and as a Republican, she's obviously in the minority as well these days. What is she doing to try to exert influence and give herself some sort of political profile?
Well, I think she's working hard, Ed. As you mentioned, she's Republican in a House controlled by Democrats, right, and a freshman in a system controlled by seniority. But she got some great committee assignments for a freshman. She's on transportation, which gives her entree into highway issues and airline transportation issues. We've got a big FAA center in Oklahoma City, of course.
Right.
She's on Natural Resources Committee, which has jurisdiction over Indian issues, and oil and gas drilling on public lands, which is important to her. And she's on small business, which is a very, very big issue for her. She loves small business, and she's even the top Republican on one of the small business subcommittees. So I think she's doing what she can as a Republican freshman.
Okay. Is what she's doing really any different than the other new members of Congress from Oklahoma that you've seen in your many years in Washington?
Well, yeah, they're all different. They all come up here in different ways. You know, back in 1995, Steve Largent and J.C. Watts came up here, right, in the Republican wave as bona fide stars, immediate stars. And the Republican leadership tried to get them, you know, their faces out in the public. And 2002, Tom Cole came up here, was first elected, another Republican, and he had a long background in history and national politics, was well known up here, immediately got a lot of responsibility and fit in. Dan Boren came up here as a freshman and had a pedigree, of course. His father and grandfather served in Congress, right, and he kind of established himself as a Democrat who was quite willing to vote with Republicans. But I think Congressman Fallin, I think she has caught the eye of the Republican leadership. They, as I said, gave her a top Republican spot, ranking Republican spot on a subcommittee already, and they've used her at press conferences to talk about energy policy.
Chris, there's speculation here in Oklahoma City that she'd be interested in coming back to Oklahoma and running for governor in 2010. Have you heard anything along those lines about her or any other members of our delegation being interested in the governor's race in 2 years?
Yeah, I've heard that same rumor, Ed. I've never asked her about it. I wouldn't expect that if I did ask her, she would tell me one way or the other at this point. But I've actually heard that same rumor about Congressman Dan Boren from Muskogee, a Democrat whose father also served as governor, and he served in the state legislature. It wouldn't surprise me if either of them went back to do it. You know, 6 of the 7 members in the Oklahoma congressional delegation served in the state legislature. That's where they came from. Senator Tom Coburn's the only one who hasn't, so wouldn't be surprised if one or more of them wanted to go back.
Okay, thanks, Chris.